We're all familiar with Corby's long history of migration, both to and from its green shores. And for decades, people have settled in the town. They've learnt English, they've acquired new skills, and they've worked hard to provide for their families. It's clear that neighbourhoods have been enriched, traditions have been shared, and many friendships have been made. But we all know that the last decade has brought fresh new challenges to the town and its growing communities. However, we must understand and protect the values, experiences, and opportunities which bring people together. The film you're about to see highlights some of the extraordinary people who have decided to call Corby home. These are their stories. Lily, tell me a bit about your history, how long you've been in Corby and where you lived, and a little bit about what you've done when you were young.
Well, I'm born down the old village, and I've lived in the old village all my life. That's 96, nearly 96 anyway. And we used to make our own pleasure. In those days, well, we had to, didn't we? And I'm quite happy doing that. No vandalism then days.
So was it a better time then?
Well, I thought they were better times, but there again, you've got to move with the times, haven't you?
True. You've seen so many things happen.
Oh, I've seen them. Saw the furniture built up, saw them pulled down.
And you've seen the influx of Scottish community.
Yes,
Irish.
and they walked from Scotland down to Corby. They walked down, some of them did. They were so glad to get a job.
So tell me where you're originally from and how you found your way coming over to Corby.
Okay, I'm from Ecuador, South America. It's a lovely country with 3 regions. We have the highlands, we have the jungle, and we have the mountains. And as well, we have beaches in Galapagos Island. Then I went on holidays to Brazil, a neighbor country, and I found a lovely man from England. And it happens that he was living in Corby. After a year, we married, and I moved to live in Corby.
I'm from Zimbabwe, and I left Zimbabwe in 2001, came over to the UK with my wife and daughter. She's now turning 15. We originally went to Chelmsford. Yeah, that's where we were. Then moved to Leicester. We've been in Leicester for about 8 years. Then we moved to Corby 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're coming from Poland. We left our country because even if I'm after university, I couldn't find a job. And my husband has a good job, but when Poland coming to the United Europe, the border just gone. And he was a customs officer on the border. So actually we have a daughter, 8 months old, no jobs, no future. We need to change something.
The journey, I came up actually from Surrey. When I got out of the army, I was in Purbright and I sort of remained in that area for a few years. And I ended up pretty desperate, being an ex-soldier, adjusting to civilian life. And I had friends in Corby. And I phoned them up and said, I need somewhere to go. So they actually came and got me and arrived in Corby. And I remember pulling, I was being driven past where the BP garage is now, and I'm looking, I'm thinking, whew, what's going to happen now?
Well, I was born in Bangladesh in 1972. My father came in this country in the 1960s when it was big exodus who actually immigrated in this country from Bangladesh, which we known as the Queen's Voucher. That's when my father actually came in the 1960s. In 1979, my father thought that he wants to bring the family over to this country to settle in this country. The reason he made his decision to bring the family over, my siblings and my mother, that we can actually have a better quality of the education in this country and better living standards, and we'll have a good family cohesion.
I didn't even know that there was a town called Corby. It was by coincidence that we came here. It's the nature of the job that I do as a minister. Came here for a funeral. Then I ministered there. People gave their lives to the Lord, and they said, "Dave, there's no church like this here. Why don't you come and start church?"
Well, I've been here since 1989, so that's what, 23 years. And when I first arrived in Corby, it was the place was a bit desperate because the works hadn't long closed down. So there was an enormous amount of unemployment. There was an emptiness about the place. Although people still laughed, there was an emptiness in the eyes of people.
Was your family involved in the steelworks? Or?
I only had one brother, and yes, he was involved.
And how long was he working there for?
Quite a number of years, until he actually took his actual retirement.
If we remember, 4 years ago, Corby was just developing. There was no cube, no pool, no that lovely shopping centre. Then I found it like quiet, because I came from a big city, 3 million of population, so busy, noisy, dangerous.
We've got a friend over here, and she just says to us, "Listen, if you need my help, I'm able to find some flat to you, help you to find a job, and just make normally life in England."
I decided, because it was a quite big family, my father couldn't be able to maintain the family with his own income, so I decided to get a job in 1989. That's when I decided to come to Corby.
And it reflected the way I was at the time, because being an ex-soldier, I had that isolation, that loneliness that ex-squaddies feel, because they try to readjust and try to fit back in, and they're just, it's just really, really difficult, but that's another story.
Small and old town. Martin comes from old town as well in Poland, but it's very beautiful architect, it's very old one. So architect different, small one as well, but I think it wasn't important for us on that time. We just wanted to find some job and just, recognize what we have to do, how we have to do, improved, and etc.
I've been coming to Corby ever since we started the church. We were driving all the way from Leicester. So I kind of acclimatized, got used to Corby before I actually relocated. So there wasn't much change for me because I've been interacting with the people before I decided to stay here. So it's been a smooth transition for me to change from Leicester and now live in Corby.
It was very difficult because if you take notice, I am living in a lovely country and it's not in economical problems. Then I didn't really need it to move out of my country. But in the sake of follow my husband and my love, I took it like a new adventure.
When I first came here, to be honest, I just thought that, it's for communication, I probably have to leave. And, when I was communicating with the customers, this fluent Scottish accent, and, some customers I really have to, deal with could be a bit arrogant.
Mental was not easy, but physically was funny because we just took 3 luggage, one for me, one for Martin, and the biggest for little Carolina. So actually, what we had, we just took what we can need over here, and that's it. But the mental was very hard to make this decision, just leave everything, especially a family, your friends, your country.
Did when you came, you actually flew in? Did you fly?
Yeah.
So when you flew into the UK, what were your feelings and emotions then?
That we're starting new life. That we have to start it. Yeah, I can't.
Okay, that's all right. Hang on.
From her land of Poland to England she sighs, Uncertain and scared, let the journey unfold. Corby's the town with his work, I am told. How will I live? Where will I stay? I'm so full of fear, I pray and I pray. From her land of Poland to England.
There's been a great exodus of many Zimbabweans going everywhere. Yeah, literally now you find Zimbabweans all over. You find them in India, you find them in Australia, you find them in the United States because of maybe the political, economic climate in Zimbabwe. Yeah, so that's the basic reason why most people left.
I enjoy it, I embrace that. But I think a cosmopolitan, it adds something to the place, the amount of Eastern Europeans that are coming here. I got to know loads, and running Planet Coffee and people, Michael that runs it, he's got my poetry on the wall in the cafe. I enjoy the fact that all the amount of Africans that are here, and they're a vibrant people, you know. So it's all going to jazz the place up even more, you know what I mean? I just love it, I embrace it.
Well, the most I knew about England was that Arthur the King is coming from there. Not many, because we American people are not so informed about Europe. But I knew the Queen is there. I knew about other things like the weather.
We just think that we have to change something. There is our new life, especially that we have a daughter. So we have to do something for her. My parents given me education and show me a lot of things. And I just would like to give my child the same. So we need some money for that. Money can't bring you happy, but can bring you some exists. So actually, again, money, but we need them. So that's why.
And everybody, when I mention I will go to England, they say it's a lovely country. And it is a lovely country. It has lovely landscapes. As a country, it's very, very beautiful.
We're now in the 5th generation. And we probably have about 500,000 Bangladeshis living in this country. We have 12,000 professionals from the Bangladeshi community who are actually contributing to the British society. And 12,000 is a big change.
Obviously, when you move into a new neighborhood, those that are already there, they might feel, there's some infiltration, there's, our natural habitat is being, So there's such feelings that come up. And yeah, the challenge now is how do you integrate? How do people accept different cultures and different ways of doing things now that there are different people that are bringing different things?
Do you think that the Corby has been maybe too welcoming to some of the groups that we have?
No, I don't think so. Do you think so?
No, I was just...
I don't think so anyway.
Do you think it's fine and and it works okay?
Yeah.
The amount of people that we have in the town?
Yeah.
I came to a quiet town and everybody's friendly, everybody talks with everybody. I love it. I really love it. It was a big change, but I really liked it.
I don't have family in Corby, no. They're all in Scotland, and mostly Glasgow, Cumbernauld, and in the Borders area. I get to see them once a year or so. When I arrived in Corby, I very quickly got married. I've got 2 children. They're all grown up now. I've got 2 grandchildren. Jesus, and and they've moved to Weymouth. And I see them a couple of times. We do keep in contact through Facebook and phone calls. So I'm not really missing family. And I've established myself. I'm quite independent now, I've done my daddy thing. And I'm enjoying living here and I'm enjoying what I'm doing here,
In 1990s, the recession hit the market badly. Then the owner actually got fed up with the business, was really down. Then he decided to leave and he just left it with me. He says, you just can't have the restaurant, you don't have to pay me nothing. And then I got my family involved after he gave me the proposals that, you can take the restaurant, you can get your family over and If you work hard and if you raise the money, if you raise the business, that's yours.
We need to think positive. I just have afraid one thing about education, about my daughter's education. In Poland is different, and about the level of the education. And another things, here you need to pay for everything if you want to go to university. In Poland was just a half to half, so some money I need from my parents, but another half I can get from my government. So that was easy way. So I'm just afraid are we able to pay for her university if she wants to go on there, and I want to. She go on there because she can find an easy, like an easy life in the future, and it's good for her knowledge, open for the world, for the people, for experience like that.
But the seasons they change and the summers go by. I smile more and more, much more than I cry. I now have a job, somewhere to live. Most people are kind with so much to give. From her land of Poland to England.
If I give an example, I've my children, my own children, and the people from my own community, you know, I would say the Bangladeshi or Muslim community, they integrated with the British society. If I give an example, during the Christmas time, they actually celebrate Christmas in schools. And we don't tell them, don't celebrate because we're Muslims. So, living in British culture, faith is your own belief. Culture, you need to integrate. So that means if you don't integrate by celebrating with the culture, then you actually segregating.
Well, I love with British culture in the old way, old-fashioned British culture. The tea at 4 o'clock with biscuits and the scones, the things with cream and marmalade. All the small things that British culture has, or they have because they're losing the culture, are lovely. Well in detail, very sharp, very clean, very, let's say, high standards. That British culture is what I like. And my husband likes this old-fashioned British culture. We try to take the best of each culture, the best of Ecuadorian and the best of British. The punctuality is nice in British culture. The keep of the word. If I say yes, it's yes. If I say no, it's no. There's no in-betweens. There's no maybes. Yes, I like this.
When you come here, then you find that the Zimbabwean culture is more extrovert. Zimbabweans are extroverts. They're not very reserved. Now you meet the British people, you go into the train, everybody's quiet, maybe reading their newspaper, reading their book, and whereas where I'm coming from, everybody's a friend. You want to say hi, you want to talk to them, even if they sit next to you, you want to chat with them, and here it's kind of like different.
Does that mean that we're a bit more suspicious? We tend to look at people like, who's that?
I think so.
Before we came here, I was taught, and I could see in the cinemas, in the television, at the university when I'm learning my English, that the British is something posh, full of gentlemen, open the door on the front of you, and really kind, good manner. When I came here, actually, it was not the same, especially teenagers. It was amazing for me. It was completely different culture. But when you start to living here and look around you, you can find some reason why the people are like that.
Well, obviously, yeah, there's always going to be bigotry. I mean, look at the way the Irish suffered when they first came to Britain. And when I hear bigoted comments regarding Eastern Europeans, I go, oh, hang on, Where do your grandparents come from? Scotland? Ireland? Did they not have to tolerate the same sort of narrow-mindedness and bigotry that you're displaying towards Eastern Europeans? You know, this town was built on immigration. Accept it. Embrace it. Get the positives out of it, you know?
In Corby, we are multicultural, completely multicultural. I want to see my children to adapt to the British society. Faith, I could be Muslim, my children are Muslim. Faith is your faith by adopting yourself with the British culture. That promotes the positive side of the multiculturalism. If I don't show that to my children won't be able to show it to their children. So we have to have positive vision on that. How to integrate with the British society. If I tell my children, no, don't celebrate Christmas, it's not ours, they would go to the school and tell the children and the teacher that my father said, you know, I shouldn't do that. That means he's segregating them. We have British people celebrate our Eid. So, you know, integrating with the society, integrating with the British culture, you have to have positive vision.
I am very proud about my culture, and I want to keep it as it is, as my culture. And I am teaching my culture to my little boy. He's half British, half Ecuadorian, but every day we play my music, my national music. He dances, we dance together. I dress him up as a national, with the national custom of Ecuador in small. And I dressed up myself as well. I'm very proud of my culture because it's a lovely culture and it's something to show off.
It's understanding each other. Yeah. Now, because I'm coming from that background, I need to understand you, then perhaps meet somewhere in between where you loosen up a bit and I calm down a bit and find our way.
I am not English, but I am British. Yes, I have my British passport.
You can find people actually are gentlemen's men sometimes. You can meet kind people as well. And you can help people. And I think this is really important for us because we are foreigners and sometimes we need that help.
I've met so many friends in the time I've been here. I'm learning the accent that's not always clear. The people are fun, so much warmth I've been shown. I feel I belong like the town I have grown. From her land of Poland to England.
Well, not quite a few things stand out, don't they? I mean, the town centre's beautiful, isn't it? That stands out lovely now, doesn't it? The town centre.
Yes, I have made very lovely friends. English people, Scottish people, other kind of people. I don't know even where they are from sometimes, but lovely friends.
In the last 2 decades plus, I have grown. As the town has grown, we've sort of grown together. It's just been a fantastic journey. You know, I've watched the changes in this town over the last 20 years. And not only physically has it changed, it's changed in attitude. There's a more positive thing going on, there's a more positive vibe going on, you know.
It's a completely different town now, changing completely.
It's beautiful. I've seen Corby changing now. Some old buildings being demolished. It's taking a new look, and yeah, it's a friendly atmosphere. I find the people very friendly. Yeah, unlike the stories that we used to hear about Corby. Dave, you're going to Corby, it's a rough area. I haven't seen the rough side ever since I came here. It's beautiful.
I really look forward for the cinema. That would be all right. But other changes, the changes that are being made are all right. The town is getting comfortable, easy, nice. Something that I have noticed from 4 years ago is the town is getting very, very busy at weekends. Difficult to drive through, difficult to park. And that could be a little bit uncomfortable, but it's okay. It's okay.
There is a fantastic amount of greenery in Corby, though. As you open and you expand in the way you think, you begin to notice the positive things, and the parklands and all the rest of it. So, and it was a bit drab physically, building-wise, you know. And it's the steelwork sort of look about it, the greyness about it. Now it's like Glasgow. It's been coloured in. It's looking vibrant. It's looking shiny with that cube. You know, the way it reflects the mood of the day and all the different sort of the sun, the clouds, the dark, the grey, the bright, the reds, you know, as the sun's going down. I think the town's looking good and it's feeling good. That's what I've noticed.
Education. You look at the education system in Corby now, it's fantastic. My son goes to the CBA and two of my daughters goes to the Brook Western. And the younger one goes to the Oakleyville primary schools, and the education, since the schools, education systems have been changed. And see, education is very vital in people's life. How is it? You've probably heard the quote saying the education is the backbone of the nation. Until you implement that, you cannot have a good nation. And I think, in terms of that, I think we have achieved good schools in town.
Have the people changed?
Well, yes, I think that today they seem to be more friendly. People seem to be more friendly today than what they used to be. I think they are to me anyway. That's because I find them.
For me, I'm finding much of the positive in Corby. Like we have a young girl growing up. Corby is a fantastic place to raise a child. It's quiet and, yeah, she likes it also.
Being honest, I have good impression of the town as a developing town and going ahead, going forward. And everybody who comes to Corby, and they came years ago, they are amazed. And even I can be proud about Corby. It says, have you been around Corby? Have you seen the pool? Have you been around the cube? Then it's something to talk about. It's very nice. Now the town is looking very nice. And the shopping place is lovely.
Between 1989, maybe about 12 years ago, I had two customers who came into my restaurants. And unfortunately, one did run. The second one tried, we stopped him. And then I requested him to settle the bill, and he refused it. Then he said, then I told my colleague that we need to call the police, that then I can actually get you charged for the theft. Then he was very remorseful, and he was very, he was begging me. He was saying, I'm very sorry, you know, I have, you know, it's not my habit to do that, but this is a very unfortunate situation for me. My friend who did the runner, he invited me here, and he's supposed to pay the bill, and I don't have the money. And if you call the police, you're going to put me in big trouble. My wife will kill me and stuff like that. Then I said, okay, so how are you going to settle the bill? And he says, if you can trust me, I promise you that I'll bring the money back tomorrow. So, you know, in life, and especially when you got a small business or a big business in the local community, in the local town, you really have to have a bit of trust on some people in a certain extent, you know. So I decided that, you know, I need to trust this person. And I just let him go. When I actually stood on the local election, apparently, he is one of my constituents. During my campaign, I was campaigning my biography letters, and it contained my photograph. And that person have recognized me straight away. On the election day, he texted me, and he said, Mohammed, good luck. You have trusted me 12 years back, and now by voting you, I have trusted you. Good luck, and all the best for you. That is one of... and it really made me tears straight away.
That's quite positive.
It's absolutely positive, yeah.
He did pay you back?
Next day he paid, yeah. His wife came and paid the bill, and, you know, she was apologetic, and she said, you know, When I could have, if I could have actually called the police and actually, he might have a good career there. For £60, I could have ruined his career. So I thought that at the time I made the right decision by letting him off.
After a year, maybe 2 years or 3, I can't remember now, but a couple of years after, they says, wow, this is strange. It's going to be a beautiful town, completely new, a swimming pool, a market, you know, so we can see, is it better, we like it now.
Now the town is so different from when I arrived. I've learned of the steel and how people survived. There's the Cube and the theatre, all the wildlife to see. I grew with the town, now the town grows in me. From Poland to Corby in England.
Very small group of people, I would say they're fundamentalist. They think that it's their country. That's the belief they have. We live in a British society. We should have respect for every religion. We should have respect for every individuals. We should not promote any segregation in the society. And I think it's only a small group of people who actually promotes that. And I think this is, we should ignore that, to be honest.
I do get saddened by some of the negative things I hear about effing foreigners. That annoys me. You get to know the person before you judge them, you know what I mean? I'll talk to anybody, and being a taxi driver, I do talk to a lot of people. As soon as they come out with some bigoted comment as regards somebody's race, I switch off. I'm sorry, I don't want to hear what you've got to say anymore, you know? So I would like to see a greater effort at schools and all that. I mean, you pick up bigotry at home. Nobody's born a bigot. They pick it up at home. So we need a change of attitude. And it's got to be, well, it's got to come from the home, but then you've got to concentrate on it in school. And zero tolerance when it comes to racism. Zero tolerance, you know.
I had a lovely supervisor. She says always, Yola, if you need to ask me 2 times, 4 times, 10 times, doesn't matter. I want to be sure that you know what I mean and you understand what I'm talking about. And that's make me some comfortable. I'm never afraid to ask her because I could see that she's open to me. So we need more people like that.
I've had fantastic time relating with different people and different cultures. They accept me, and yeah, I found my work very easy working with new people.
Since beginning from the schools, the teachers should to show children that we are together, we live together, we're learning together, we're coming from different part of the world as our second language, but we have the same feeling. We feel love, angry or hungry. I always confusing these 2 words. We feel happy. We are just the same. So don't make a barrier on different. Don't split us. We are the same human like you are.
For the biggest part, maybe it's for those that are coming in to understand the culture that's here first. Then when we understand the culture, get into the culture, then the local people begin to understand us and begin to appreciate where we are coming from, who we are. And when that basis has been established, I believe the coexistence won't be very difficult.
Being an ex-soldier, I'd done 2 years in Hong Kong, I was in Malaysia, I was in Oman, Korea. So I've experienced all sorts of different cultures. And when you just break it all down, we're all the same. You know, a person laughing sounds like a person laughing. A person crying sounds like a person crying. A person loving sounds like a person loving, you know. We're all basically the same. So that's what, so why differentiate, why separate? Why segregate? We're all the same. We bleed and sneeze and cry the same. There's a town somewhere in England, built from the grinder's wheel, grew from digging ore and the folk that made the steel, and the light from the furnace candle shone that lit the sky from dusk till dawn, and the town grew bigger still by the hands of hardy folk that grafted out a living amidst the noise and smoke. Then the works were closed, many a tear was shed. It's hard to set a table with little meat and bread, but we carried on regardless, with music, song and dance. OK, the works are gone, it was never our last dance. Now many a different culture arriving in our town, most will welcome with open arms and ignore the bigot's frown. So most of us came through, played with the hand being dealt, for Corby has a pulse, just crying out to be felt.